What's up, 23? Today I want to talk about a particular subject. I want to talk about narcissism and spirituality. So, narcissism, right, is a subject that's been around for a few years. It seemed like it's been very overly done. The narrative is just saturated, right? But from my experience, it's something that I experience with in spirituality with different people, especially for the past 2 years or so. Narcissism has been something that I've been seeing a whole lot, and I think I need to speak on this. Sometimes we get different informations that, that's important. We think it's saturated and overplayed, but sometimes it's important to bring these things out. So narcissism, right? If we understand what it is, right? A narcissist is the person who doesn't care about other people. They really don't have any sense of morality of how they behave and their actions with other human beings, right? So it's kind of like a psychopath or a sociopath, right? A psychopath being something that's learned, sociopath being someone who's damn near just like born this way. But but narcissists have some of these traits, right? So narcissism and spirituality, right, is very dangerous because these people, they pretend like they're spiritual, that they're beyond just the physical, mundane things in life, but actually that's all they really use spirituality for, is for the mundane. So you have all type of spiritual narcissists. You have religious narcissists, right? So I give an example. Just say for like a Muslim woman, right? Now normally in the Arab countries, it doesn't matter, her views or what her secret views are. The culture is going to keep her in line, right? But if she comes over here to America, right? She can have different endeavors. Now narcissists, right? What they do is they don't really have any genuine feelings, right? Everything is acted. So Bernie Mac said something very significant before he died. A young girl asked him about acting. He says, no, you don't want to get into acting. Because when you keep on acting and acting, and you acting, not being yourself all the time, and that's what they do. They keep doing take one, take two, take three. And they make these people do these takes over and over as far as acting, right? You have to be a very strong-minded person because you lose yourself. So that's what a narcissistic person is, right? They disconnected from the soul because the soul being their destiny, the destiny of the spirit, the things that they're naturally connected to in this incarnation. They're disconnected to those things because they want the mundane things in life. So they do a lot of pretending, right? So they'll socially act when it comes around certain people, just say relationships, right? They just say, I'll give you an example of a Muslim woman. So she knows how to go around and act spiritually amongst her people, right? But she secretly wants to do her own thing. She secretly wants to be immoral. So she, or being over here in the West, right, can seek those things out. So this woman, she might, actually want a righteous man. So she might seek out a Muslim husband or whatever, or a Muslim boyfriend. But actually, she wants to go out and do her own thing. She wants to be with other men. She wants to smoke, drink, and do all these things and be a party girl secretly. So she does all these things. She says all the right things, right? And these are things that she might learn from childhood, being a narcissist. These are things that they learn from childhood, because in childhood, this is where people learn. From age 7 to 8, that's where we mostly are. So when a child, right, when they have a certain type of trauma, or just say they really want to get attention or something like that, and they see if they behave a certain way, they get attention, That's where the acting comes in. That's where losing themselves come in. So they're always acting according to who they're around. They mirror other people's ways and mirror their their core beliefs and mirror things, and they don't really believe anything. They only do this to get what they want, right? So they do this to to protect themselves and get what they want. But they also do these things, for just purely mundane reasons. Just for mundane reasons. So this is what a lot of these spiritual people act like. So I give you another example, right, of a man. So just say of a man, right? Um, he just say he pursues a woman who wants a long-term relationship, right? But secretly he doesn't want that. He wants to be with a lot of women. Now there's nothing wrong with a man being with a lot of women, right? But as long as you're honest. So when you sit there and you lie, to a woman and says, "Oh, I want to be in a relationship," and you mirror them and you do all these things, right? You do all these things and you mirror them and you do whatever you can to get their attention. And once you get their attention, it's like it becomes old and dead to you, so you move on to the next one. But to behave like that, to be that dishonest is really cowardly. A lot of narcissists are really very scared. They like scared little children. And it doesn't matter how much spiritual knowledge a person has. This is why a lot of these spiritual people, they are narcissists. They have no moral fortitude, and even though they pretend like they do. So just say like, a spiritual priest, a so-called spiritual priest, right? He might understand, he might have a lot of spiritual knowledge, right? So he'll pretend, a lot of these people are very charismatic. And this is the thing, if we're spiritual people, we have to get beyond our feelings, right? Feelings, when I'm saying like, it's beyond a person's charisma. Because charisma can come from a place that is not good. As black people especially, we always want shit that sounds good. It sounds good, but is it actually good? We need to examine these things because a lot of these people, they'll tell you all type of stuff. So a spiritual man, so just say he's a narcissist, right? And he says, "Oh, yeah, I'm connected to Yemenya. I'm connected to Madre de Agua. That's my, she's my spirit, she's my main deity. I'm connected to Oshun. And, I believe in supporting women, and I support women, and I love, and this and that." And they'll say these things, right, to attract women, because that's what narcissists do. They know what they're good at. They recognize, as when they're a child, right, who they can attract by mirroring them and telling them certain things, right? That's why this charisma comes, right? It's almost like a reverse people-pleasing thing. You please them so they can do shit for you, and then, it's just all selfish. They really have no moral obligation and nothing they do. They have no moral fortitude. They would do anything to get what they want, and they pretend like they're moral. This is something I've been seeing over and over again with people. But this is the particular year where a lot of these things is coming undone. So I just want to just talk about these things. Spiritual narcissism is very dangerous because these are the type of people who do harm because they're secretive. A spiritual narcissist, they're going to be very secretive about certain things, but they always tell on themselves if we really listen. We have to be honest with ourselves and, realistic about people and objective. They always tell on themselves. If you really listen, they do. So be careful with these spiritual narcissists. It is something that can harm you very much, because these people are very, very vampiric. They're very parasitic, and they will suck all the good energy out of you. All the goodness. If you're an empath, if you are compassionate, that's what they look for. Oh, that's like a mother's milk to them. They love that stuff. So you have to be very careful and mindful and just leave them alone. Because these type of people, it seems like very rarely these people really try to better themselves and improve themselves. It's so embedded into them. They're so trying to protect their weak little ego and their psyche, right? That they would do anything. But all these things that they're trying to protect it with are mundane. So they use, someone who likes them or someone who loves them or money and all these little empty things that's just, it's just, their soul is just a bottomless pit because they're not feeling it what it's supposed to be. And this is really spiritual because there are entities and stuff that really come up and they capitalize on this. They see these energies. And that's why some of these narcissists, right, they're very strong and they have this charisma and they have this because these entities, right, take over because their lower self is so tapped into, they're not trying to elevate themselves. So these entities or whatever, they're parasitic. You know what I'm saying? They're vampires. So they'll come to these people and use them, and they'll participate and use them to be vampiric and, um, parasitic because they feed off those energies that the narcissists do. So we have to be very careful if we want to really spiritually protect ourselves. Stay away from these type of people because they're no good. Hey, wish them the best. Wish them, hopefully they wake out of it, come out of it. But a lot of them, they really don't, unless it's too late. They're very, these are very stubborn people. It's a certain type of person that really deals with this type of narcissism. Now, when I'm talking about this narcissism, right, I'm not talking about the so-called business narcissist, right? Because they say, I'm talking about a person in their personal relationships who behave amorally, a person who's not good to good people, right? Because that's something evil, right? When you're not good to a person, right, who's good to you, and you take their goodness for granted, and you're not good back, it shows that you're not a good person. Because good people or people who are aspired to be good, we're going to be good to good people. So this is very, very significant. So be careful, guard your energies. 2003, and I'll talk to you all again.